Right. What's going on, folks? Welcome back to We the Champz. I'm your host, Jalen, and we got our, we don't need no introduction. It's Uncle D, Coach, a.k.a. Coach Phil Blackson, a.k.a. runthefood.com. If you want to be a chef, hit him up, check him out. They'll show you what it takes, all right? I'm mad right now. You got on the Dodgers hat, bro.
You like the holy team. You got the cross and everything.
Yeah, I see that too. I got on my Yankees gear. So I just seen they said Garrett Cole might need Johnny Time surgery.
Yeah, man. Your Yanks looking beat up. They depleted, bro. They are so depleted.
Stanton, both of his elbows broken, or he's gonna have surgery. I mean, bro. Yeah, we looking hurt right now. Louis Hill had some shoulder injuries, so
they looked like 2 years ago when everybody was hurt and it was only Aaron Judge.
Right. But we're gonna see, man. We need some young guys to step up, bro. That's what I see. But I think we can manage without Cole, but we need Stanton's bat. We need that by postseason if we gonna.
Bro, y'all lost so much in free agency this year, man. Y'all might not even be the best in New York, man. Y'all might not be the best in New York.
Now with Cole going, bro, it's hard to debate that. But hey, let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling. All right, so NFL free agency just started, and it's been a lot of crazy moves, man. It's a lot of crazy moves. So we're just gonna give y'all some grades on these, tell you what we think about the trade and how we feel about it, man. So I put a mark on some big ones here. Let's go over those first, and extensions, of course. So the Browns, they gave Myles Garrett the biggest non-quarterback contract ever. He's getting 4 years, $160 million, 123.5 guaranteed. You think they should have traded him and tried to get a haul in? And it's almost, to me, the Browns are like a team in denial of a rebuild.
I think so, man. I think that they should have set my man free to be able to actually pursue a championship. But that's so much money. That money was so hard to turn down. Think about the haul they could have got from the best defensive player in the league. You can say arguably, but I don't know many people that's arguing that he's not the best defensive player in the league.
Right, he's right there, top three. I mean, who would you put ahead of him? Watt on his best days.
On his best days, but then if you're even thinking about it, Myles Garrett might be the best all-around football player in the NFL. If you're talking pound for pound, position by position, he's so dominant in such a game changer on a team that ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I give Myles Garrett an A for getting his money. I give the Browns a C for they just could have done so much and started over, because I have a hard time believing that Deshaun Watson is going to be Deshaun Watson from 4 or 5 years ago. I don't see that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In that division, bro, you're going out there with Deshaun Watson against Joe Burrow, who didn't even make the playoffs.
Just as good as any of the top guys, or he is a top guy.
So I don't know, man. They need a quarterback. They need a lot.
They need a lot of stuff.
They're just well coached. They're a well coached team. They got great defensive talent, but I don't see that making a big movement for the team.
I gotta agree with you on this one. I give this A for Myles Garrett getting that money for sure. Get your worth, man. And a C. I give it a C plus for the Browns, because, like you said, he's a force, arguably the best defensive player in the league.
They gotta have
And
somebody that's gonna sell
yeah,
some jerseys too. You know, like
yeah, that too.
you gotta have somebody on your team that's gonna sell some jerseys.
For sure. Damn, bro, they could have got a lot, man. They just, I get it both ways. Yeah. So I almost want to say B, but I'm gonna keep it at a C plus.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. It's hard because it's not gonna put anything in a win loss column for that team because their offense is gonna struggle so much. Not unless there's been some progression. But Watson was hurt last year too, so he's been hurt the last 3 years. Not even to mention, we ain't gonna talk about the legal situation.
Right.
I mean, just talking about like his play on the field, he hasn't been up to par. So, and then it's got to be disheartening for the rest of the team that goes out and ball, but then you don't have you got nobody to put the ball in people's hands.
Right. Because it was like I said, it's like they're still holding on to the fact that okay, they can compete. I mean, they're just 1 year removed from that Joe Flacco renaissance where they did make it to the playoffs. And who did they lose to? They lost to the Texans.
They got obliterated though in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like and that's no offense to Flacco, but you can only go so far with a quarterback that's not a top. Let's even say a top 12 quarterback in the league at this point. Like you got to have good quarterback play, and if people will argue that Jalen Hurts isn't a top 10 quarterback, but I mean, my man has been to 2 Super Bowls and won one and put up. He was an MVP candidate till he missed a game 3 years ago. So I mean, you have to have great quarterback play.
And then one thing with Jalen Hurts, I mean, I know we see the quarterback as like the general, the guy that's making the pass and passing the ball, but now we honestly got to take into consideration of a quarterback's running ability. You know, I mean, look at Hurts in short situations. Look at Josh Allen in short situation. Hurts,
Mahomes in the playoffs
runs. Yeah. So I mean, you got to take into account Jalen Hurts' value to a team, which boosts his value, and I believe that elevates him to top 5 quarterback territory for sure.
I mean, he's a natural born leader too, and they don't talk enough about that in any situations. You can see that he's usually the calmest person on the team. He's calmer than the coach half the time. So I mean,
hey, bro, most of the time, Sirianni be nutting up.
So I mean, if you're looking at to go back into Cleveland, it's so hard to see. Yeah, I get it. Myles Garrett, you need him. You need him. He's the best player on the team. Probably, like you can argue, he's one of the top 5 players in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
hands down across any position, easily top 5 player. And you hate to see him go, but at the same time, man, you have to think about like how are you going to win some games eventually.
All right. Like you need a new formula, you know? But they're in denial of that. That's what I'm saying. And it's the Browns, man. They give out money. Not saying Garrett didn't deserve it, but bro, they give out money.
Hey, I'm happy for him, man. Get that money. Look, if Deshaun Watson got all that money, man, Myles Garrett definitely deserves some money. So, matter of fact, I'm glad Deshaun gave some of that money back since he been restructuring his contract so much. I mean, even he knows, like, man, I done got something over on these fools. Get some of that money back, man. So,
all right. Next up, we got Jay's guy, young Sam Darnold.
Hey, man. I think that's a good move for Sam. Seattle's got those young receivers out there that actually they showed improve like their value. The coordinator, Sam is familiar with the coordinators before they were in San Francisco with him when he was there. So he's really
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's really familiar with that system. So like, honestly, I honestly thought that was a good. Once they traded Geno, I was like, okay, they're going after Sam Darnold. But he deserves it, man. He earned that money, went out MVP.
Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, and so he was on staff with the 49ers when Sam went out there and played well, and that was like the beginning of his renaissance. So I think Seattle believes in him, and I honestly think he's an upgrade over Geno. I mean, I like Geno, but I think Sam's an upgrade over Geno.
You do?
I think Geno, as far as age too. Like, I'm not trying to say like Sam's that much of a better player, but you're gonna have an extended amount of time with Sam because he's younger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, I see that. It's like you know, looking at the Luka trade. That's gonna go down in history as a metaphor for a lot of stuff.
Don't consider Luka trade to anything. That is like.
But no, I'm referring to the fact that the age factor being right there, the track record of health being there helps too. Yeah. However, I just think the Seahawks are in the same territory. Now, I know that's part of the game too. It's like, all right, we're going to try to make our team better. We're going to try to be good. But, I know teams talk about Super Bowl being the ultimate be-all, we-all. But, I mean, you're looking at the division out there. The Niners are down a little bit. You got the Cards, and then you have the Rams. The Seahawks, they can – their day, now you're looking at it, they can make some noise,
I think walking into that situation, I think Sam saw the writing on the wall where he could walk into a team and actually have a shot at competing too. So if like Stafford, up until like a week ago, we didn't know if Stafford was coming back with the Rams. 49ers are having some issues. We'll see if they can retain any more of their players that are older, they're aging. We'll see what CMC looks like when he comes back. And then going down, we never know what the Cardinals are going to be. So, I mean, Sam's still walking into a winnable division, and Seattle is always competitive.
And so check this. Seattle went, and then this is really good for Seattle. They get a win-win out of this. Now, hopefully Sam's balling, We see the good Sam Darnold, not the one that's seeing ghosts. His deal is 3 years, $105 million. However, it's only $55 million guaranteed. So depending on how they structure that, they can give him all the money for this season. And then if it's bad, dude, they can just move on after one season without having to be burdened by a heavy contract for 3 seasons.
But and I give Sam a lot of props for betting on himself too. You know what I'm saying? Like he believes in himself, and honestly, the last 3 years of Sam Darnold weren't bad. Even the year at Carolina, he played well in a system where he didn't have many tools around him. Like I wanted the Panthers to retain Sam, and so going on and then being a backup in San Francisco was a great move for him to continue to keep his confidence. He played well when they gave him the opportunities. And then we all saw how he balled out last year. I mean, really, he lost to 2 teams last year. So they lost 4 games last year to 2 teams, and nobody else could beat him.
So like we see, man, that Jake, they talk about his playoff hiccups and big game and, big game things, but that stuff takes time. And then you look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold hasn't been in those big games ever. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I beat across the drum with that, specifically with NBA teams. And, you look at the young teams, it's like, damn, all right, they playing. It's like, all right, we're playing ball. Then we learn how to play regular season ball. Then we learn how to play tight, big game, postseason ball. We saw that with the Celtics. They went through the pain. The Warriors went through the pain. This is Sam Darnold's first true season with expectations to win in the playoffs. So, seeing a guy build on that, that's still something to bank on, or still something, exciting to see. Like, all right, Sam had this experience. We have a quarterback that put up staggering numbers with playoff experience. Let's see what we can build on with this guy for this season.
And again, they're talking about how he played in big games. Dude lost 4 games. You know what I'm saying? So there were more than 4 big games that he played in last year. He didn't play great in the playoffs, but honestly, the Rams, honestly, they were hot and they should have beat the Eagles if you're really looking at the way that the Rams were playing. So that was a team with Super Bowl pedigree, and they lost to a team that was hot at the right time. So and then they lost in regular season to Detroit. So it's not a big deal. I think Sam is going to be in a great situation. He's betting on himself. Either way, he's going to get his money, and man, I'm happy. I'm happy for like anybody I can see just getting their money.
All right, what would you grade this deal?
I would
give it a B plus.
I give it a B plus. I give it a B plus for them. I think that like I said, like moving on from Geno just struggled a little bit in some situations last year. I think just due to him aging.
So
I think Sam will be able to he has a little bit more arm strength than Geno. Geno's more accurate, but we'll see how they move.
Yeah, Sam got that whip. All right, let's talk about Geno. Geno got traded to the Raiders. I like this move for the Raiders, and I like it for Geno Smith, honestly. The Raiders, let's be real, they don't have a whole lot going on. They have a good tight end, Brock Bowers, the best rookie tight end arguably ever. And I mean, the numbers are there, bro. This is the best rookie tight end season ever.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I don't think I watched the Raiders play. I didn't even watch the Panthers Raiders game. This is so biased. I didn't even watch the Raiders play not one time this season.
Yeah.
Or I might have, but I can't recall a game of me watching the Raiders play.
Not memorable,
bro.
I mean, they're coached by Joe Biden. I mean, Pete Carroll. So
they about the same age, man.
Yeah, man. Honestly, the craziest thing I'm going to say about is Pete Carroll builds programs, right? So you're not expecting Pete Carroll to be there for the next. He's got a 3-year deal, and so you bring in somebody like Pete Carroll to really change like the culture of the team. Because look at how Seattle, like they were able to sustain a culture after Pete Carroll left. And I think that's really what ownership did when they brought in Pete Carroll is they need somebody to change that
just
dynamic and shift everything the same way he did it at USC. So
yeah, you're right. Like just change the coach. Just put us on a winning track, Just do what we can. We'll see where it goes from there. But we're like 98.7% sure we're going to be going in a good direction because the Raiders have been bad for so long, man. Right. Since I've been watching football, I mean, I know they were good in the early 2000s, maybe the tail end of like, when was it? That Tuck rule? That was the last time I remember the Raiders being good.
Yeah, man,
since I've been watching.
Yeah, Gannon,
and then the only other time was the time they lost Derek Carr when he was having the MVP season and Khalil Mack and all that. That's the only time I remember the Raiders ever being good.
But I think that they did a big thing by bringing in people with winning pedigree. Like you have Tom Brady. Tom Brady is apparently in there watching film with Geno Smith already. So no, for real, he said he's already watching film with these guys. So you bring in Tom Brady as an owner. You have Pete Carroll, who won in New England. People forget about that. Was winning. Everybody knows his history at USC as a college coach, and then like should have been a 2-time Super Bowl winning coach at Seattle, who had like sustained winning, and he's done a great job of developing quarterbacks and developing systems and programs. So
now that's what I'm interested in seeing. Is this we get the good vet in here, then we get a rookie quarterback. Now I don't think I highly doubt they'll go first round and draft somebody, but there's some back end guys they can work with, man. I mean, you get a guy like who we looking at, like Jalen Milroe, develop them, put them out there at the right time. If we're looking at that kind of situation, then the Raiders, they're already on the right track. But I think they'll definitely draft a QB, maybe even the second round. But I see no further than the third round. I'm pretty sure they'll draft somebody.
I mean, really, I'm not even trying to be funny, but if Shedeur drops, I mean, because they've been talking about Shedeur dropping.
And then Shedeur too.
I'm just saying, if he drops to Raiders pick, are you so sure that they're gonna pass on him? And then I think that if you have Geno Smith as your vet, and you draft Shedeur Sanders as your QB in waiting, and actually have him sit, and you have your guy, because I know that's who they actually want as a QB. But would you pass on them if you're the Raiders? If I were the Raiders, I would draft them and sit them. I mean, that's the same thing as having Alex Smith sit or Alex Smith QB as Pat Mahomes sits, or you have Jordan Love sit behind
for A-Rod.
And so they're like, oh, you're going to give up a first-round pick. But, I mean, we were all criticizing the Falcons last year when them fools got the last laugh because it ended up being the right move. So, I mean, if I was the Raiders and I had the opportunity to draft Shedeur, if he falls into my lap and that's the person that I grade as my number one prospect, how would I let him go?
Yeah, you're right. If he falls there, for sure. All right, now let's stay in this Seattle player coach round tree. The Steelers trade for DK Metcalf. They sent Seattle a second round pick and a late round pick swap. It was great. Geno Smith. I give it an A.
I give it an A. I think it's a great move. He's back. He's with familiar system. I think that Pete Carroll is going to be comfortable with Geno as his QB. I think that that's a really good situation for everybody. They just need stability. And
they need something.
Their young QB, what's his name? Their QB that started a couple games. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. There's like a handful of them that are like all like the same.
But so you don't have pressure. There's no pressure on the Raiders to win right now, but it is pressure on them to like show growth and develop. I think developing a winning culture is like going to be a big thing for that team right now.
The team in Vegas. All right. DK Metcalf to the Steelers. And he just got a big extension with the Steelers, man. I don't like this. I don't like this deal. Nah.
I mean,
like he's a superb talent, but who's going to be throwing him the ball?
Russ down the field. If you have Russ, think about Russ throwing the deep ball.
Is Russ going to be there?
Where's Russ going? Who wants Russ?
On the Giants or somebody want Russ, but Russ isn't coming back, is he?
I don't know. I don't think anybody knows what's going on.
I don't know. I'm just too in the dark about all this. Like, I did not see DK getting traded to the Steelers, man. So I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't know who's going to be their QB. If it's Russ, that's another weapon to line up on the opposite side of Kenny Pickett. So you have two deep ball threats. And
come back to me. I'm losing. Hold on.
And then Aaron Rodgers,
Oh, say that again. You blanked out for a second.
I said I would much rather have Russ than Aaron.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So honestly, right now they're saying the Steelers are continuing to talk Russell Williams, but Russell Wilson, but apparently Aaron Rodgers is becoming a talk of a QB that they're looking at, and also the Giants are looking at signing Aaron Rodgers. So if they, I don't know. It just sounds like a bunch of nonsense when I say that out loud.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers to the Giants. Man.
That's supposed to be their number one target.
I like Rodgers to the Steelers more than the Giants for sure.
Man, I would rather get Ben Roethlisberger back as a QB than have Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know, bro. It's like I don't know what to think about this. Like I said, we don't even know what's going on at the QB position. I mean, we have kind of an idea, but yeah, I don't like this deal quite frankly. I'm gonna give it a D. And then we had I'll give it a D. I'm just not feeling it.
You're not feeling it. I'm gonna give it a C with an asterisk. That's it's honestly, I think it's incomplete. I think it really depends on who's their QB. Who's their QB? If they have a real QB, I think that you have two great deep ball threats. I don't know why them fools didn't sign Sam Darnold. That's really what they should have did. That's just me.
That's a good one. All right. And another star receiver we had on the move, Davante Adams signed with the Rams. And I'll go ahead and tell you, I think this one is all right. All right.
Well, you know they're replacing your boy.
Yeah, they replaced my boy Cup, man. He's still on the roster. You know, they're transparent about it. They said, hey, we're looking for trade candidates. We're looking to trade you, Cup. But this one's okay. If Davante has more juice than Cup did, but I'm looking at his stats now. He played for the Raiders and the Jets. He had about 1,063 yards with roughly 85 catches.
Bro, I don't see the difference between signing. You might as well have kept Cooper Kupp. I'm not. Let me keep it a band.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Does he have more juice than Kupp at this point?
Davante Adams is a beast. Don't get me wrong. Like again, he's a great receiver. But if we're like comparing Cooper Kupp, as Cooper Kupp has achieved so much in the league, and then he's had like offensive player of the year type season.
That triple crown, bro. That's talent. You know, I always harp about that triple crown season, bro. That was the greatest receiver season I ever seen. Not just that, but that playoff run too.
Don't say that, man, because that young buck. We're not going to talk about the several years that Randy Moss has had, and I know that you're talking about seasons as you have seen. No one is dominant the way that Randy Moss was dominant as in the Minnesota Vikings uniform. There is no one scared.
I guess.
Dude, that's a fact, homie. Like people, like every game he had double coverage and he was putting up crazy numbers with Culpepper or with McNabb throwing him the ball. So again, don't get me wrong, Kupp had amazing year. But it's blasphemous to talk about Randy Moss season not being better than that. Randy Moss had two seasons that were two of the best seasons that I've ever seen a wide receiver have. Just saying.
I feel you.
Go back and watch the highlights, man. And
I'll check it out. I'll check it out. But I'm just saying, bro, Kupp won those. He won those postseason games, bro. That joint was. That final drive in the Super Bowl, I think Kupp got it every time except for maybe one time. It was just, I don't know. That was just phenomenal.
See, we're gonna go back in history just for a second.
Look, I'm not gonna say it's better than Moss, but that's the best season personally I've seen.
You got to check it out. That. The only reason why the Vikings didn't make the Super Bowl that year was because their field goal kicker missed a kick at the end of the game after Randy had got them in position to win the game. If not, those conversations would have been completely different. So that's just go back. We gotta have a
and that Super Bowl where the Pats lost, that too.
Yeah. Randy Moss was balling out those games too. So,
he broke the single season receiving touchdown record. I remember him and Brady broke it on the same pass, the touchdown pass record and the touchdown receiving record.
And that wasn't even Randy's best season. So shout out to Randy, and shout out, his daughter actually played on my wife's basketball team. So Randy's a good dude. So I gotta show love to Randy and Sonali, his daughter. Like, they good peoples, man. So shout out to the Moss family.
Right. All right. Okay. And yes, guys, there are several other trades and free agency signings. These are just the highest profile ones that we went over.
Hold on, man. I gotta ask you one question, man.
What's up?
What did you think about that J.C. Horn deal?
I feel like they're definitely they're trying to buy in on the defense because they signed some other guys too. We signed a safety. We gave him some bread. I think it's cool. I mean, J.C. Horn's rated a top cornerback. They're trying to retain him, so I think it's cool. Not great, but
yes,
I think it's cool.
Then they added
he's young too. He
just gotta stay healthy, man. When he's on
the field,
he's definitely a top 3 corner in the league when he's on the field. Like, I hope he can just stay healthy. And then you saw Carolina sign Patrick Jones II.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do, actually sign some defense.
Yeah, I want to see some smart moves from the Panthers for sure.
Yeah, those words haven't gone together a lot lately. So
I just wonder who we're going to draft. I think we're going to draft one of those Georgia pass rushers.
I hope so, because every time you draft a Georgia pass rusher, something good happens. So,
all right, what else we had happen? The Bucs signed Hassan Reddick, 1 year, $14 million. Something the Jets wouldn't do. The Pats, they're building on some defensive players. Carlton Davis, 3 years, $60 million, 34 guaranteed. And the Lions signed the quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks, DJ Reed, 3 years, $48 million. I can see the Lions sign some defensive guys because that's all. I mean, they got the O figured out, bro. They don't need no more hitters on that offense.
They just need to stay healthy.
And that too.
The Fools had injuries at the worst time of the year. Now I felt bad for them, man, because they were hot, and then those injuries really depleted their team down the stretch. So it's so hard to root against Dan Campbell and them fools over there. So
it's hard to root against them. All right, so let's talk.